Good morning, everybody. This is Stephen Pugh of the Home Bible College. It's May the 26th, and we're looking at 2 Chronicles and chapter 16 today. We're looking at the last few years of Asa and also the king that replaced him. So, first of all, we begin in verse 1. In the 6th and 30th year of the reign of Asa, Baasha, king of Israel, came up against Judah and built Ramah, to the intent that he might let none go out or come into Asa, king of Judah. So what Baasha was trying to do was to have a siege against Asa. Asa brought out silver and gold out of the treasurers of the house of the Lord and of the king's house, and sent to Ben-Hadad, king of Syria, that dwelt in Damascus, saying, There is a league between me and thee, as there was between my father and thy father. Behold, I have sent thee silver and gold. Go break thy league with Baasha, king of Judea, that he may depart from me. And Ben-Hadad listened to King Asa and sent the captains of his armies against the cities of Israel, and they smote Ijon and Dan and Abel-maim and all the stores cities of Naphtali. And it came to pass, when Baasha heard it, he left off building of Ramah and let his work cease. Then Asa the king took all Judah. Then Asa the king took all Judah and carried away the stones of Ramah and the silver thereof, wherewith Baasha was building, and he built with it Geba and Mizpah. And at that time Hanai the seer came to Asa king of Judah and said to him, Because thou hast relied upon the king of Syria, and not relied on the Lord thy God, therefore is the host of the king of Syria escaped out of thy hand. Were not the Ethiopians and the Lubims a huge host, with very many chariots and horsemen? Yet because thou didst rely upon the Lord, he delivered them into thy hand. For, and my password is in verse 9, beautiful, beautiful phrase, full of significance for us in trying to understand Old Testament times. For the eyes of the Lord run to and fro throughout the whole earth, to show himself strong in the behalf of those whose heart is perfect towards him. Herein hast thou done foolishly, therefore from henceforth thou shalt have wars. Then Asa was wroth with the seer, and put him in a prison house, for he was in a rage with him because of this thing. And Asa oppressed some of the people the same time. So what we have here is a very sad thing. Asa in his early years was a mighty, righteous man of God. And God brought about great victories. In fact, yesterday we were looking at some of the most stupendous battles and events of history. I mean, even Asa deposed his own mother because she was an idolatress. But he led battles against the Ethiopians when the Ethiopians came in with 1 million men, and he defeated them in battle. The amazing thing is that in his latter years, Asa went to pot. He just lost it. He took his eye off the Lord, and as a result of that, he had battles and he had defeat for the rest of his life. And we read in verse 12 that in the 39th year of his reign, he was diseased in his feet, until his disease was exceeding great, and yet in his disease he sought not the Lord, but he sought physicians. And when he died eventually, they put him on a bed with sweet odours and various spices of the apothecary's art. No doubt he had gangrene, or he had some other thing like that used to smell, and so they had to have a sweet scent because it was difficult to cope with the smell. Very sad end to a glorious life. Now Jehoshaphat, his son, reigned in his stead, and he strengthened himself against Israel, and he placed forces in all the fenced cities of Judah, and he put garrisons in the land of Judah and in the cities of Ephraim, which Asa his father had taken. And the Lord was with Jehoshaphat, because he walked in the ways of his father David, and sought not unto Baalim. So here we have a righteous man. You can hear all Israel cheering at this point. And so therefore the Lord established the kingdom in his hand, and all Judah brought to Jehoshaphat presents, and he had riches and honour in abundance, and his heart was lifted up in the ways of the Lord. Moreover, he took away the high places and the groves out of Judah. Praise the Lord. He didn't just seek a spiritual reformation and transformation, but he also sought to totally take away all the gardens, all the open-air temples where people served false gods. Now, in the 3rd year of his reign, he did something even more remarkable. He gathered together princes, and he gathered together Levites, and he taught, and he sent them throughout the whole of the land with the book of the law of the Lord, and they went throughout all the cities of Judah and taught the people. And the fear of the Lord fell upon all the kingdoms of the lands that were round about Judah, so that they made no war against Jehoshaphat. Verse 12, Jehoshaphat waxed great exceedingly, and he built in Judah castles and cities of store. Now, chapter 18 is one of my favourite passages in the Old Testament. We have Micaiah, who a dear brother used to call the 404th prophet. Okay, Jehoshaphat went to see King Ahab, and King Ahab said to him, "Will you go with me to Ramoth Gilead?" Now, Ahab was a wicked, wicked king. He was of the northern kingdom, and Jehoshaphat said, "I am with you, and with you my people are your people, and we will be with you in war." And Jehoshaphat said to the king of Israel, "Inquire, I pray thee, at the word of the Lord today." And so the king of Israel gathered together 400 prophets. These were the 400 yes men. And he said, "Shall we go to Ramoth Gilead to battle, or shall I not?" And they said, "Go, go, the Lord will deliver them into your hand." But Jehoshaphat, being a wiser, godly man, he said, "Is there not a prophet of the Lord besides, so that we might inquire of him?" And Ahab said, "Well, there is one man who we could inquire of the Lord, but I don't like him because he never prophesies good about me. Always evil. He is Micaiah the son of Imlah." And Jehoshaphat said, "Fetch him quickly." So they fetch Micaiah, and when he's coming, the prophets say to him, "Behold, the words of the prophets declare good to the king with one assent. Let thy word therefore, I pray thee, be like one of theirs, and speak good with us." Now, what they're saying to Micaiah is this. Now, don't be awkward now. You just fit in with all what the rest of us are saying, and you just say the same as us. Now Micaiah, wow, what a man of character, what a great prophet of the Lord. He says, verse 13, "As the Lord liveth, even what my God saith, that will I speak." And when he was come to the king said to him, "Micaiah, shall we go to Ramoth Gilead, or shall I forbear?" And he said, "Go up and prosper, and they will be delivered into your hand." And the king said, "How many times have I adjured that they say nothing but the truth to me?" He's saying, "Stop it. Tell me the truth. Tell me the truth." Micaiah says, "I see all Israel scattered upon the mountains as sheep without a shepherd." Oh, now that's a warning, isn't it? Wow. So, and he talks about a discussion that takes place in heaven, where the Lord says, "Who shall entice Ahab, king of Israel, that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead?" And one of them said, well, it says that then there came out a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, "I will entice him." And the Lord said, "Well, wherewith? What will you entice him with?" He says, "I will go out and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all the prophets." And the Lord said, "Thou shalt entice him, and thou shalt also prevail. Go out and do that. So what Micaiah does, he gives us a glimpse into heaven of the discussions of God with angels and with demons. And now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil against thee. Then Zedekiah the son of Kenaniah came near and smote Micaiah upon the cheek. Wow. Which way went the Spirit of the Lord from me to speak unto thee? And Micaiah said, Behold, thou shalt see on that day when thou shalt go into an inner chamber to hide thyself. You see, Micaiah was saying, look, there'll come a day, right, when you'll know that this is true. You will go into the closet to hide yourself. Then you'll know. Then the king of Israel said to Micaiah, that is Ahab, he said, take away Micaiah and carry him back and put him in prison and put him on bread and water, dirty bread and dirty water, until I return in peace. And Micaiah said, if you return in peace, then you will know that the Lord has not spoken by me. And he said to all the people, listen to this, take note. So the king of Israel and Jehoshaphat and the king of Judah went up to Ramoth Gilead. And the king of Israel said unto Jehoshaphat, I will disguise myself. I will go to battle and put on thy royal robes. And so the king of Israel disguised himself and went to battle. And the king of Syria commanded the captains and chariots that were with him, saying, fight not against the small or the great, only fight against the king of Israel. And it came to pass when the captains of the chariots, they saw Jehoshaphat clothed in the clothes of Ahab, they said, it is the king of Israel. And so they crowded around him. However, Jehoshaphat, he cried out, and the Lord helped him, and God moved them to depart from him. And it came to pass that when the captains of the chariots perceived that it was not the king of Israel, they turned back from pursuing him. And a certain man drew a bow at a venture. See, there was somebody there who just thought, well, I've got a bow and I've got an arrow, I better do something. So he put it in and he just drew it and let it go. Didn't aim at anything. And what happened? The arrow went straight and killed Ahab. It smote the king of Ahab between the joints of the harness. And therefore he said to his chariot man, turn thine hand, that thou mayest carry me out of the host, for I am wounded. And the battle increased that day. However, the king of Israel managed to stand up. Ahab stood there as best he could in his chariot against the Syrians until the evening. And then at the time of the going down of the sun, he died. You see, you cannot disguise yourself against the Lord. You cannot go against the prophet of the Lord when he says what will happen to you. Micaiah, he was proven to be a righteous prophet. Well, God bless you. Look forward to speaking to you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful day. Bye for now.